yet. No.
Okay.
I don't know that it matters a ton.
Well,
like, is there a guy are we on there yet?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Is there a guy specifically that you're wondering about him starting or not?
Well, yeah. I mean, quite honestly, not to be like too lazy, but I would like to trust like the various projection sources to make the right adjustments. Before I just lock this, you know what I mean? And I don't really have any expertise with which way the rotations would go and whatever, and I just want to just kind of see what, you know what I mean, how much it impacts it. That's all.
Right.
I mean, I have no particular bias one way or the other per se, but I'd like to think that I don't know, like if I knew that, who's the 3K guy, the guy with the injury, Scott, I knew he was starting, it would make me feel a little better.
I would actually feel, I actually think Scott's is a much better play if he's not starting.
Well, I don't know. If he doesn't start, I'm afraid he's not going to play at all.
I mean, it'd be weird for him not to play at all, right?
I mean, but if he's hurt, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He's supposed. They say he's going to play.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I've heard so far. I mean, I haven't confirmed that, but I have heard that. I think that he'll probably play around 20 minutes, is my guess. Probably more viable on DraftKings than FanDuel. I do have him in one FanDuel lineup right now. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm.
Yeah. So what I do is I'll share the FanDuel stuff in a second. I'm just trying to build some DraftKings things. What I'm going to do, so FanDuel, I mean, this is not a surprise. I really don't have that much of that Philly stuff.
You don't need it as much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have Embiid. What I'm doing with FanDuel is like a little different. I haven't decided yet whether I want to just max enter the $3 thing or whatever. The only thing that makes me want to do it is because I don't know if I'm going to be able to play, if there's going to be any NBA after tonight. I don't know.
Oh, my God, man, I know. Don't even I'm worried about it, too.
You just never know, you know? So I want to be like Mazer Bowie and bink the last slate before the shutdown.
I hear you.
So I might do it, you know. But my original idea on actually FanDuel was I used a couple of lineups, like a couple of different builds. I was gonna like tweak around them, and none of them had like excessive Phillies. Like I had Maxey in all of them, and I had Embiid in like not even all of them. I had him in most of them, but not all of them.
Yeah, I have Embiid in one out of my 4 big ones on FanDuel to give it away.
Okay.
I think that there's enough leverage and there's enough in the range of outcomes where, you know, look, we might. I don't think it's impossible that Drummond outscores him. I don't think it's impossible that even at a cheaper price that. So you're going to get, let's see, like the guys I like DeAndre Ayton over there. He's 6,700. That's a pivot for me. I like Mitra, but I'm not getting to him. I like Vooch. And I like that playing that Vooch and Giannis and hope the game stays close situation. I also like Cole Anthony on FanDuel. Sorry, I don't care about how bad.
So here are my 2 builds. Like if you see my screen over here, the one on the top is basically stacking the Orlando with Anthony and Aaron Gordon with run back with Giannis, and then basically a full Atlanta Philly. I mean, I have Maxey and Embiid, and then I'm Young, Carter, and Reddish all together.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's the one I put, but that's like the skeleton, right? So then, like, I have that in 8 entries. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of like dilute that, you know what I mean, and just kind of like put those guys in and just kind of like filter around a little bit. And in the other build, like you see underneath, that's got Toronto Portland stat. Like that one's got Lillard and it's got like Lillard and Covington actually, and then Lowry and Siakam, and then also. It's got some Phoenix. It's got Booker and Ayton. And I couldn't get to Beal on that one because you play 2 shooting guards there. You don't get to play Maxey. So I have Hachimura right now as the run back over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 2 builds and just kind of like, massage them a little bit, so to speak.
That makes sense to me. So let me see real quick. I really do like I like this Washington-Phoenix game a little more than maybe some other people do. I also still think that I think that Melton is a really strong play on DraftKings. I believe in the kid. It's not a good matchup. Obviously, they're slow-paced teams and everything, but he's just going to put up near 20 plus probably most of the time here. So he actually is safer than some of this Philly value that we've got everywhere. So what we're gonna do right now,
I have a question. Elf Payton isn't questionable, is he?
I don't have him as questionable.
Oh no, only reason I asked is I did like a crunch with some stuff, and I got like 50% Emmanuel Quickly somehow. So I wanted to see why. Wanted to figure out why that was.
I don't understand what the quickly projections are today. It doesn't make a lot of
Oh,
sense.
so there are good projections on. I really didn't even look. Okay.
No, I mean I don't know why he's projected to play 25 minutes. Oh, now they cut it down to 18 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then
That was just bad information. Maybe there was something there before.
okay.
I'm gonna close my window real quick because that work outside is driving me crazy.
Yeah, no problem. At least there's no alarm.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. It's weird. It doesn't feel like a giant slate. Obviously, there's a lot of condensed, stuff. But the ownership's still going to be fairly spread out outside of Maxey and Embiid. And even Embiid. I mean, the one guy I actually didn't have him. I didn't find any builds with Danny Green yet.
Really interesting.
I think I'm going to throw him into one because it doesn't feel on DraftKings because he can always make some threes and stuff. But I'd want him to be in the one where I play Embiid. If I was going to play two on DraftKings, two big ones, that's probably what I'm going to do. I think I want Danny Green in that one and Mike Scott in the other one.
Interesting.
Mike Scott should get some of that, and Mike Scott will be in I'll have Maxey in one, and then the guy who I'm having a hard time with, man, is the other one. I like Isaiah Joe, and I don't know why people are not going to play him.
Who?
Isaiah Joe.
Why they aren't going to play him?
Yeah.
They're not?
He's projected to be like 5% owned.
That's ridiculous.
Well, there's just too much value. I mean, it's like, yeah, he took 11 threes in the last game. You know what I mean? So I have my interest there. I have some Beal and Booker going on with that game, like we talked about earlier. And then the Giannis and Vooch. I didn't find myself with Aaron Gordon as much as everybody else does. Aaron Gordon's going to be really chalky, and it always.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
On FanDuel, he will be.
Okay.
He fits. It makes a lot of sense because of his price. But I would rather play some other guys. I think I really like that. I guess what we could do. We could go by position who we're playing at each position.
I want to do that, but let me just finish this DraftKings thing and upload this, and then at least I'll have a shell because I do want to go at some point and look at the bigger buy-ins and see. Yeah. Okay, so you want to do DraftKings?
Yeah. Let's do FanDuel first. But let me answer a couple quick questions. What was the first one? Was Reddish or Herter? I prefer. So okay, again, if you're playing Trae Young in that lineup for some reason.
Well, I have them both, by the way, in FanDuel.
I wouldn't do that personally. Okay. I think that Herter has enough. He does enough creating and gets enough assists, and it sort of just doesn't. It's not a natural fit.
So that's perfect. So then what I'm going to need. This is perfect. So what I'll do is this is what I'll do. I have 8 entries with this lineup in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is replace the shooting guard. I'll have some with Reddish by himself and some with Herter by himself. So all I need to do is I need to find a good shooting guard around the same price or a small forward around the same price. And with any luck, it correlates to the rest of it. But this one's over-correlated already. Like this stuff right here, this is literally like triple correlate. It's got Milwaukee with 2 Orlandos, and it's got like 100 guys in this Atlanta game. So I have like 3 Atlantas, so I don't need 3 Atlantas, especially with Young, so it works. So I got to find like a shooting guard and a small forward in general on FanDuel.
Yeah, so yeah, and to answer the original question, it is – for me, I think I really do think you're splitting them. I think it's one or I don't think that I don't think one stands out to be a much better play. These guys are somewhat shooting reliant, scoring reliant. Herter's probably got a higher floor. Maybe Reddish has I don't think so. I think Herter probably has I guess I would say Herter then. But if I'm looking at FanDuel, the small forward thing is, the shooting guard is pretty loaded. So small forward, there's a lot of options, but they're all sort of in that same tier. All those 4,500-ish guys. One thing I'm doing, we just got word that Colin Sexton is playing tonight, and that James Ennis will start tonight also. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I did have interest in on FanDuel, especially. I had interest in Osman, but I'm not going to play him anymore, I don't think. And sadly, he probably still has a pretty good chance to get there, but I'm just going to have to deal with it, basically. Looking at this lineup here, so I think that if you play the potential that I think Philly, there is danger in this game for Philly. It's the first of a back-to-back that they've got coming up. Atlanta is pretty deep, even with the loss of Bogdanovich. They're a pretty loaded team. There is some blowout potential. I don't think it's like I would lock it up or anything, but I think that it's definitely there. And even if you play the blowout, though, I think that it makes guys like Isaiah Joe a little bit of a better play. And I find myself using him a little bit more at the moment on FanDuel than I do on DraftKings, which is really odd because there's plenty of point guards options over here too. Guard in general is loaded. And by the way, I'm just going to throw Colin Sexton into a couple of lineups because no one's going to play him. And he's 6,900 on FanDuel. We haven't really seen him play much without Garland because that's just how the timing worked out. But I definitely like him. I think that he's a really, really good play at 6,900, and I don't think people are going to go there. Do you?
I don't know. Who's saying Garland?
No, Sexton.
Yeah, I don't. Again, it goes back to the whole thing about that where you need your guards.
Right. Yep, I agree with that. Okay, let me just see real quick. I think I was gonna like almost have the lock button on Sabonis and Randall on. I don't really. I think I'm just gonna have about 75% of each of them on FanDuel. Where do you stand on those guys?
Which guys?
Sabonis and Randall.
I'm like more build oriented, so I like Giannis and Gordon. Right?
I got you. I mean, that's essentially the same thing too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean those guys are fine. I think.
I just really like. I think it's the nut matchup basically for what's his name for Sabonis, and then you've got just the sure thing of Julius Randle. So I have some interest there. All right, let me get out of here. And I don't want to. I like RJ Barrett. I'm wondering where he ends up ownership wise. I'm gonna take a quick look at that. I'll answer some questions, guys, in like 5 minutes. For some reason, I don't feel like I'm usually like flustered and stressed. I don't feel that way so much today. I feel like it's pretty straightforward what I'm trying to do. Now, that's the weirdest thing to say about a game these days. So we're probably going to hear some crazy news that's going to change everything in the next 40 minutes. But I think it's pretty straightforward slate.
Well, and DraftKings, like on your bigger buy-ins, like how many like sixes you think you're going to use?
So where I'm playing at least one Atlanta run back, whether it be Hurt or Reddish, probably not Trae Young over there, but it's possible that I will because the guard spot is so loaded. But Hurt or Reddish, you can use a small forward. So then I'll play 4 probably, 3 or 4. Otherwise, I'd play 1 or 2. I don't think you need to. I think there's a good chance that about a lot of these guys, some of these guys get there. I don't think it's like a lock that 4 of them get there all at once. And if they do, it's going to be a close game, and you're going to want Embiid as part of that, I think.
Yeah.
One guy who I'm sort of like finding a little bit of trouble with is I actually like. I don't think I can do it. I like the idea of trying to spend up at small forward because I don't think people are going to do that on FanDuel. And the truth is, like 3 out of the last 5 games, we've had, Hayward's put up 41, 50, and 60. I'm kind of interested in him, but I just don't think I'm going to end up getting there because I want to. Yeah, that's it basically. I do like Kyle Lowry on FanDuel too.
Yeah.
I like Malcolm Brogdon. Who else do I like at point guard? Okay, let's see. I'm not playing some of the other guys I like. I like Chris Paul a lot.
You're not playing Lillard?
It's weird to play Lillard in the worst possible matchup to me. Like,
why is it such a bad matchup?
They've been the number 1 team against point guards basically every year that Kyle Lowry's been there.
Okay.
We just saw it the other night. I mean, a little bit of it anyway. They just don't leak as much, but it's fine to play Lillard, of course. I don't have that urge as much. I'm more interested in the Beal versus
right.
Booker or Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton and then Beal, something like that. I've got a little bit of that. RJ Barrett, I don't think this is the night you have to play him, but I definitely don't think he's a bad play. I think that OG Anunoby is a good play on FanDuel as well. Kyle Anderson stands out. Rui is a really hard fade to me. Really hard guy to fade. I really like him here.
I'm getting no matter where I go, this Cam Johnson at 4,300.
Yeah, I like Cam Johnson a lot. Sorry, I should have mentioned that one a while ago. I really like Cam Johnson. I'm stuck in a weird spot here. Let's see. Do you play Bridges? I think the answer is to play Anunoby over Bridges.
On FanDuel. On FanDuel.
I just like this matchup a lot for OG, but the problem is it's so rare that he's been getting there lately. The minutes are so secure. Bridges though too. Bridges is in the better game. Well, they're both great matchups, and yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I gotta figure that one out. But yeah, Rui's the one who I'm probably playing the most of on FanDuel from Washington side. I also like Bertans at center. I mean, at power forward, but probably not in the same lineups. I even have some Avdia right now, which feels kind of weird.
On FanDuel?
Yeah, but I don't need it. I'm gonna probably edit that one out. But I do think that all these Washington guys, because of the way they play, are going to have opportunities without Westbrook, and we haven't really seen them all be healthy. But Avdia is sort of getting his feet under him. He's a rookie. He had a big game the other night. I could see them feeding him if he gets hot. He sort of has the same kind of thing as Bertans. And then Rui is I think the safest of the bunch.
Yeah, that's obvious. That's actually pretty helpful to me to use Avdia. So I'm going to use him.
I don't love him. I wouldn't put him in my biggest buy-in.
No, I'm just
Oddly enough, Drummond is now a little bit of a worse play.
Why is that?
Because he does initiate. They do run more offense through him without Sexton.
Okay.
And he's now priced more than Embiid on FanDuel. I'm gonna have him in one lineup. There's 100%. No chance of one of my big buy-ins.
And you're not getting much of, like you were saying, Danny Green.
I'm not getting much Danny Green. I don't really understand this incredible love for him. He can always I don't think this changes almost anything for him. I really don't. Just maybe more minutes, but he already played a lot of minutes.
Right.
And it's the first.
But it's more usage if he wants it. You know what I mean? Like he's not the type of guy. You know what I mean? I just don't know if he's ever been in a situation where there's been no players.
He has been, and I mean,
okay.
As a Laker fan, look, every time that LeBron and AD, and even when they had Caruso out for a while last year, it didn't change anything for him at all. Not even the slightest bit. Even back to when he was in Toronto, it was like that. When Kawhi would say, he never bumped up. It was just whether when he played well, he played well. It was simple as that. Yeah, I can't quite get to. I think that as gross as it feels, yeah, I think that Reddish is just the better play than Avdia. I don't like playing Reddish and Herter together, but I'm going to do it in a couple lineups. Just the way things worked out, kind of. Feels kind of weird though. To
play them together.
Yeah, just and I only in the lineups I have them. I only have I don't have that much Philly. Just feels a little strange.
So what do you like Buddy Hield?
I do.
Game time decision ankle.
Is that a new thing?
I don't know. I'm just reading it.
Yeah, I have him there. I see it there, but I think that's what I'll probably do is maybe switch to him over Herter. And also,
that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to filter out a little. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to filter out a little Herter.
I do. I mean, I like Herter. I just think
I got you.
Yeah, there's other plays, and the thing is, we don't know how many minutes or how limited what's his name is going to be tonight. De'Aaron Fox, which just gives Buddy Hield probably a little bit more usage, which Buddy Hield is always more than happy to oblige. It's just he hasn't made any shots this year, but when he does, he'll pay off that price tag pretty easily. I'm going to jump in and look at some questions because I'm sort of hitting.
Would you go back to Norman Powell? Would you go back to Norman Powell at all, or no?
Well, I have Rui in 3 out of my 4 lineups over there. I don't think so. I don't know what they're doing in Toronto exactly when they started him and when Lowry was back. It's kind of confused me. I think that they're just trying to find themselves. They're really struggling as a team in general.
Okay.
So that's probably why they're doing it. But I can't. I don't. How much is Powell right now on FanDuel?
48, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I would just rather play Rui and again, I like Kyle. So I'll go positions. Let's do positions on FanDuel. Before that, I do that. I'm just going to take a quick look at the chat and get some questions. Anunoby or Kyle Anderson. It's Anderson for me, but I like both. Mo Wagner is an interesting play. I just think you're using a center spot, and that's tough. Centers and guards are tough.
Do you like either the point guards from Washington, either Ish Smith or Nato?
We got. I'm sorry. What? Ish Smith? Who? No, I don't like either.
Either.
They're both fine. They're both fine, and they could get there, but there's no reason to me. Okay, so Basketball Freak asked why would play Sexton when Oladipo's right there. When is the last time Oladipo's had 140 fantasy point game and maybe his last 30 games? And Sexton, I do like Oladipo a little bit too, but Sexton is they're going to run everything through him. I mean, without Garland, he should score 40 fantasy points in his sleep in this matchup. that's my personal take. No more Sheedy. Sexton's in. Okay. Reddish or Hunter. I think I've sort of caught up over there. So Sheets, let's do the position thing, and maybe it'll help us figure it out. Help me figure out a few things.
I suppose.
All right. What point guard? So I'll just say the point guards I'm playing. I'm playing on FanDuel. Elf, Trae Young, Cole Anthony, Isaiah Joe, Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul, and my favorite of those guys, the guys I have the most of, are probably Cole Anthony, Elf, and Isaiah Joe.
Yeah, I would add in, as I was saying, I'm playing some Lillard and I'm playing some Lowry from in FanDuel.
Yeah, I like the Lillard call. I hate fading Lillard. I hate it.
Yeah.
Especially on a night where we can pay up for some spots. But I just don't find myself going there as much. And he went completely nuts in that one game. But that's really what he has to do to kill you. And he's not going to be high owned though tonight. So he makes some sense. I personally am going to go a little bit different. Also, I still have that echoing in my head from earlier, like, wow, what if something really does happen with this later game situation?
Right.
Not saying there's any reason to say that it's going to. Just we've had some weird stuff like that. We've had that happen like 4 times in the last year or 5 times. So where the game started, then the rest of the slates were canceled. So it's a weird time. All right, so shooting guard. Who you got as shooting guards?
Maxey, I'm playing 100%.
Interesting.
And then
I mean, you can't play the Beal and Booker over there.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So I'm playing Booker as opposed to Beal.
I like that.
And then I'm playing Herter as the other shooting guard. But again, like I said, I'm not playing that many lineups. So, and those are my main guys, and I have to figure out who else to filter in. But those are my main guys for sure.
Yeah. Any Tony Bradley love? Not for me. I don't see the reason to reach on. There's like 5. There's too many centers over there. Like there's too many bodies for him to. I mean, so how's it going to work? They're going to play Tony Bradley alongside of Embiid? No. Is he Embiid's backup? No. I just don't see it. Like I don't see how Tony Bradley might play like 6 minutes. He really might.
I don't know how though.
How is it? Well, where are you?
Yeah, I guess they are dressing 9, right?
Yeah, they're dressing 9. I mean, that's a pretty much a regular full team.
Okay.
I think we may have like you want some Philly, but you don't need to go everywhere with Philly. And now that I look back at it, I think I'm going to skip Bradley Beal on DraftKings. I like too many other plays, basically. And here's what we're going to do. All right, Sheets. So most of my shooting guards are – I have a tiny bit of Sexton. I literally like 15%, but I do like him a little bit. Buddy Hield, Bradley Beal, Kevin Herter, Maxey, Oladipo, Booker. Those are my guys. And I do really like Booker.
I do too.
I've sort of talked myself into that one. All right, small forward. I got Rui, Kyle Anderson. I do have Reed as like a speculative one in a while. They just don't have enough wings. I mean, there's still a chance it's getting. I have a tiny bit of Miles Bridges, but like really tiny bit with Cam Johnson because they're both 4,300, and there's upside there. Cam Johnson, RJ Barrett, Gordon Hayward, Mikal Bridges, and Cam Reddish.
So that was the one I was looking for. So you like a little again. I'm not. You don't have to qualify. You like Miles Bridges a little bit.
No, I have both Bridges. His brother too. Mikal, I like better than I like Miles.
Oh, so you were referring to Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, I referred to both of them because I played a little bit.
You did play both of them a little bit.
Yeah. But exactly, just a little bit for both of them, and it's really like it's. I just think that we got to treat these situations against Washington. We have to really be aggressive and attack. It's so hard for someone not to just have like a ceiling type of performance against them because they're so bad defensively.
Right.
Let's see.
Do you like So yeah, we got to talk about power forward because in these lineups here where I play like Lowry and Siakam. I don't want to play Lowry and Siakam like throughout the board. I want to weave through the good Washington guys. So I'm going to have to play some Van Fleet just for kicks. instead. I don't want to play him and Lowry together, do I? Actually, I can't.
You probably can in this matchup. Portland has been one of those teams defensively so far that you could definitely attack. Maybe I will get a little. I actually like Van Vliet better than Lowry on DraftKings. Both are interesting. Maybe I will get a little less. Think about Lillard outscoring Beal here.
So who are those higher priced guys that you liked on? You playing any Zion tonight?
No, they're not playing.
Oh, that's right. They're out. Right.
Okay,
it would be really helpful if FanDuel took that off of the.
I don't understand why these guys don't do that. It drives me nuts.
So who do you like? You like Sabonis on FanDuel? Is that what you're saying? More than Randall?
Yeah, I like Sabonis. I like Sabonis a little bit better than Randall, but I like both of them. I have them together a lot, actually. Let's see. Just gonna change one thing here. And we'll get back to it in 1 second.
Well, that's actually pretty helpful. Okay, so
I like this Isaiah Joe thing a little bit.
Do we even know who he is? I mean,
yeah, he's active. He's a shooter.
Okay.
They don't have the bodies. Like, I'll tell you what. By the way, I was going to play Zion, but then we didn't get a chance to make that happen. We were literally about to do the game earlier when they announced it.
That's pretty funny. I didn't think of that.
Right then. But Zion, I'm going to keep in the future. Hopefully, that we'll have. I will keep playing Zion. All right, I like this lineup quite a bit, actually.
Why do I keep doing this? I'm going to actually play a lineup with both Lowry and Van Vliet in it.
Do you have anybody on Portland in that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool.
So this is going to have this. That's going to have probably C.J. McCollum actually.
Yeah. All right. So wait, we said power. Did we did all the power forwards? Okay, so we did. Sabonis and Randall are my like priority guys, but I like Giannis a lot too, and I like the Giannis Vooch combo I mentioned. I like Bertans. I'll still keep a tiny bit of Osman, but I actually think the better play is just go on the other side of that game, play Brandon Clark at 5,600. He's getting the run now. It's not a great matchup or anything. I think he's just still a little bit too cheap. Put up 46 in his last game, I mean, by the way, and he can get you those stocks. You know what I mean? And by the way, only one game under 28 fantasy points in his since they've made him a starter, and that's pretty good for a guy who's 5,600. So definitely have interest there. That's pretty much it for my power forward. Center is interesting because I like 4 different centers a lot, and that's all I'm rolling with.
All right, so I'm actually going to filter out some centers. So I need someone like around Ayton's price, which would be nice. You like Valanciunas at all?
Yeah, I do actually. I do like him. I believe he put up 40 in this last time these guys played. I'll jump back into chat in a minute, guys, and do some questions. I just right now I'm trying to focus on some of these lineups. I hate that you can't see your other lineups while you're on them, so I have to open up another tab with DraftKings on it. All right, so Joel Embiid, Maxi Beal, Melton. Melton is going to break a slate soon, guys.
Who is?
My word, Anthony Melton. Back from the injury, never had. He's the reason why Kyle Anderson and Dylan Brooks don't have the usage that everybody expected. But he's active. He can get out there. He can get you some assists. He can get you steals, blocks, and he's going to score a few points. But he's just an active player, and he's going to. I think those minutes are going to trend more towards 24 to 28 than these 20 that we've been seeing. Sexton 6,800, boy, that's a tough fade.
Who is?
I really like Sexton, but there's just a lot of good guards to play tonight.
What is he on? FanDuel, Sexton?
Sexton on FanDuel is 69.
That's fair enough. No.
Yeah, I have him a little bit over there.
And at small forward, can you pay up at all for small forward? Probably not, right?
You could play, yeah, you could play Barrett and Hayward.
Right. Let me get rid of this Danny Green business. Not get rid of it, but
Yeah, just some of it.
just some of it. That's a good idea. I wanted to get a little more. So tell me more about the centers on FanDuel.
Oh, so people, one thing you shouldn't do, don't worry about playing Cam Johnson in lineups with Chris Paul or with Devin Booker. That's the kind of guy you want to play with these guys. He doesn't.
I'll talk a little more about that. Why is that?
He's not going out there to try and create shots for other people. He can get a few assists. He had 4 assists in his last game, actually. But
Okay.
he's going to be a guy who thrives on pace, who's going to get some rebounds, who's going to be able to knock in some threes. He's going to make threes, and they're usually going to come off passes from those guys. So they actually correlate pretty well. Same thing a little bit, by the way, with Sabonis and Brogdon correlate better than people thought, but better than people think. And I think that's another one to look out for. So I don't have any, like I've got 3 Philly guys in one lineup with no Atlanta run back, and that feels off to me. Well, the 3 Philly guys, I have one Embiid, Green, and Maxey lineup. You know what? Maybe I just say F this Danny Green thing entirely. It doesn't feel right to play him. Unless I'm going to stack the game. And I'm not playing anybody on the other side, so it's confusing me. Why would I do that? Maxey. Why isn't Maxey shooting guard eligible too? Damn it. Okay. Playing Danny, let's see what's Danny Green's projected minutes tonight. It's going to be like 1 million. Projected at 35 minutes. Boy. I mean, he's been shooting the ball more. That's the thing that makes me sort of Danny Green. I mean, is his ceiling like 30? Realistically, does he? I mean, I can't remember. I know. There's one game for the Lakers he made like 7 threes. I don't remember in 5 years Danny Green scoring 40 fantasy points in the game. Not that you wouldn't be okay with 30, but there's other ways you can go too.
Yeah, I think that there's just as good a chance that any of those other, I don't want to say idiots, but any of those other 3K Philly guys can get 30, like the Joe and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sort of.
Why do they want me to play freaking Emmanuel Quigley? I'm not doing it. They can go fuck themselves. Sorry. And why does everybody want me to play Aaron Holiday? I don't want to play Aaron Holiday.
Yeah, you don't have to do that either. Good matchup for him. Maybe he'll actually shoot the ball once.
I don't think he will.
Not even once.
No, I don't think he's going to at all.
Off the board value, I already mentioned Melton, but Gary Trent would be another one you could look at for off the board.
I was literally just looking at him.
Tell you what, who's an interesting play is Boucher on DraftKings. I think they're going to start giving him more and more minutes. They have to. He's just unconscious. Dwayne Bacon, Mike Scott, Paul Reed. So I would say that Paul Reed.
Booker. Oh, you got to get Booker in there.
We need Philly starting lineup, don't we?
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Now it matters to me because let me see something real quick. I don't think they're going to start Mike Scott. He just never has been that guy who starts, which would make me think they would start Paul Reed. It's the only other way that makes sense. Or they might start Matthias over Isaiah Joe. I actually would rather play Isaiah Joe. So.
Booker, and then we played Ayton. Would lead us with this, and then that's 3 Phillies. You don't have to do this, and Gary Trent is 3,500.
Yeah, he's the other long shot value, if you whatever you want to call it.
So if Paul, they didn't do the not greatest shot, whatever, but the so Paul Reed's power forward eligible. So if you prefer Paul Reed to Mike Scott, that will work. Okay.
Rick is trying to figure out. So I've got a lineup right now where I have it exactly Paul Reed 300 more than Mike Scott. So I'm playing Paul Reed, and if Mike Scott is starting because of the way I'm stacking the game in that one, I will take Mike Scott over Paul Reed if he's starting.
So that's at 7:30, right? So we have
a little bit of time before we might know about that. Are you fading Maxey at all on DraftKings?
no,
Neither am I.
no, he's 100.
He's 100.
But right now I have 80% Joe and 70% Scott. So I have to figure out what I want to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Reed is one pivot. Obviously, we talked about that one.
I got him 70%. I just have all these guys.
I wonder what they're projecting for Denny Avdia in terms of minutes.
The first thing I want to do is instead of that, we're going to put in Vooch in that spot. That is for sure. And then, so we still have that. We still have that. That's 5 of them.
Why are they projecting? I guess they just have too many bodies. They have too many forwards in Washington. They all have upside in their minutes. I'll tell you that. Everyone, Bertans, Ruri, and Avdia could all play a lot more minutes than they're supposed to play. And I know it's not a good matchup for them, but Washington makes everybody play their pace anyway. Like they don't. It's not like they play games. You know, it doesn't really matter that much who they're playing. Maybe this team will be a little bit more that way because Chris Paul's there. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're definitely not playing Embiid across the board here.
Oh, you said you're fading some Embiid?
Yeah, I have 25% Embiid on FanDuel, and I think I'm going to end up with 50% on DraftKings.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit higher, but right around there.
You have any Osman anywhere?
I did, but now with Sexton there, I'm not.
Right. So
Osman literally was playing point guard for them, so it's a big difference. Giannis, Mike Scott, Zay Jones. $1 is.
How much of the Matthias are you playing?
On DraftKings, like 27%, 30%.
Yeah, you just got to play these guys. Like him, oh man, Melton. I wonder how much Melton I need. Not much. You don't need him, right?
Definitely don't need him, but he does. I like him. I find myself, I like him now. He's not in my builds as much anymore because I'm sort of going with a.
You know what he's going? He's going in 20 max. That's what he's doing.
Maybe Mike Scott is just. The thing is, Mike Scott can get hot and like win a slate, but playing 4 Philly guys, what am I doing?
Is that not enough? Should you play 5?
No, I just feel like if I do, I just have to run back somebody.
Oh, this one. This is the good one.
Here's a real tough one. Question that I'm coming up with: Sabonis or Drummond on DraftKings? That is a tough call.
The answer is Vooch, right?
Well, I have Vooch in that lineup.
Oh, okay.
I imagine they're going to be similarly owned. Maybe Drummond will be a little bit less. No, he's going to be a little bit more.
As opposed to who? Drummond or who?
Bonus. Bonus is going to smash.
Which one you said?
The bonus is really going to smash, though. So is Drummond, though. I mean, Drummond has more. Actually, probably it's odd because he actually probably has a wider range of outcomes.
I have the two of them, Drummond and Sabonis, like just dead equal.
They're like almost the exact same, right?
Well, I have Sabonis a little lower owned, but like nothing major.
I guess in this case, maybe you give the tie.
Give the title. Who else you have in your lineup? Do you have any?
No, I did. I don't have anything else from that either in my lineup.
Oh,
But I can give it the tie from. Okay. How many minutes are we projecting for Reddish tonight? Let's see. Boy, Reddish. 33 minutes. That's pretty good. He's been good, by the way. Have you watched these guys?
Reddish?
Yeah, Cam Reddish looks pretty good to me. I feel like I have too much of him. How is that possible?
Box out. I like the box out. So no more news coming across, right?
Should I give the edge just because the game's earlier in Cleveland than Sabonis in Sacramento?
That's not a bad idea, dude.
I know. Ugh. And I do have Sabonis 75% on FanDuel. Shoot.
I don't need him. What
It's also possible people could play Vooch and yeah, it actually is better for lineup construction to play Drummond because if you have the utility spot still open, people can play Vooch and Sabonis. Sabonis has the power forward spot somewhere else. So it makes more sense to use up both your center spots from a game theory angle. Does that make sense?
Say that one more time.
So I think it makes more sense in my situation to play Drummond because people can play, there will be some Vooch lineups out there. There will be some Vooch lineups that also have, what's it called in him? Sabonis. But if you play Vooch, you have to use the utility spot then on Drummond in order to do it. So it should separate a little bit more, even though Drummond is higher owned.
That does make sense.
Is there anybody? Boy, oh boy. I mean, this Danny Green thing feels so fishy to me. I feel like I might just get rid of it.
Okay. I
wish Atlanta was a little bit. They're better defensive than they were, but they're still not a good defensive team. I mean, they really are letting Danny Green play. It's Doc Rivers who tends to stick with his guys for longer. The minutes feel pretty secure. It is the first of a back-to-back. Could get ugly too. What's the ceiling? Like, I mean, all these things are running through my head because I don't. Yeah.
That looks pretty good. Questions in there that we should be looking at, or
I'll take a look in a second. I'm just trying to figure this last one out.
I'm gonna look myself.
Maybe you get rid of Matisse.
Game, I like Sabonis, spend ups on DK, Oladipo or Sexton. That's a good question.
Oladipo will be higher owned, I think. At least it's hard to guess Sexton because we didn't know he was going to play until just recently.
You have someone has a Brogdon, Sabonis, and a stack, but debating Sexton or Oladipo.
I would put Sexton in that line. I'm in that lineup.
I agree with that. I think that you're probably a little bit overstacked with those three Indianas. So I think in that situation, I think you'd probably rather play Sexton.
Agreed. Okay, I'm going to take a look in the chat for some questions. God, this Danny Green thing, I'm telling you, I hate when I have a...
That's a fishy one, huh? You got something smells for this one, huh?
Just doesn't feel right. I got
25%. I don't have like that much. I mean...
Yeah. So I'm playing two big lineups on draft. He's not in any of my FanDuel lineups. If I play him, I want the 3-point bonus, and he is only part of a stack, but still... Yeah, I don't feel awesome about it. Okay. All right. I'm going to look at some questions. All right, let's see. Broggs bonus, he said, still have interest in Mitch Robinson. Yeah, Mitch Robinson is going to be overlooked a little bit today, guys, and I think that's actually a really solid play. So I would take a shot on him for sure. He's
I
always.
think it's really cheap, by the way.
Who's that?
It's Trae Young on FanDuel.
Trae Young and FanDuel, but look at his number. Look at his production.
I know. I'm just staring at it.
It's different with Bogdanovich, though, gone. It does help him.
We talked about this. I mean, there's. I don't want to get too basketball-y, but I mean, there's no guards on Philly. I mean, these are all pinch guys. You know what I mean? Like he can kill them if he wants to.
Yeah.
So I'm actually chasing somebody all over the court a couple of days ago. It was really ugly, really tough to watch. I was praying they didn't pull him out of the game.
I think I'm just taking a stand on DraftKings that game stays close. And yeah, this is what I think it's what I have to do. So it's a good question. Who's my other favorite center? Who are our other favorite centers on FanDuel, not named Embiid? I've got 4 centers, and I literally think that they're all part of different things. So I've got where I'm playing a little bit of the Washington Phoenix game. I'm playing Ayton with Chris Paul.
Yep.
And where I'm playing Giannis, I'm playing Vooch as the center. Where I'm playing what's his name? Even guys like Brandon Clark and Kyle Anderson, who I like on FanDuel, I'll play Drummond. So that's the answer to that one.
Yeah, I have only 2 centers on FanDuel, Embiid and Ayton.
What's that?
I only have 2 centers on FanDuel. I just have Embiid and Ayton.
Yeah.
And I'd love to, I just like this FanDuel lineup too much. I think I'm going to keep it with Herter and Reddish together and see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe it isn't the greatest, but.
One thing that does speak to Danny Green being a positive play is that his assist numbers have been up this year in general. And if you can get 3 or 4 assists and 4 or 5 rebounds out of the guy, it makes his floor pretty high. I mean, he did put up 27 the other night when he went 4 for 17 from the field. Now, obviously, Embiid wasn't in that game, but
right.
It feels fishy. I've never felt like so convinced of this and then just not rolling with it at all. I guess I'm trusting.
It's going to be one of those things, Bobby, where at the end of the day, like all of these Philly guys, they're all going to have a flame on them of some sort. I'm telling you, they just are. They're going to, whether it be like 5.5x or 10x is the question. I mean, I really believe that. I really just feel as though that at the end of the day, like these minutes are just going to just I don't know. I think they're all going to be positive. I think that, like you said, if you want to win the slate, you got to get the right one.
Right.
Or you got to really stack up the non-Philly part of your lineup and get that right.
Yeah. And by the way, it should be noted also, this is not going to be a good defensive lineup that they're putting out there.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah. Which I'm just also justifying the Atlanta run back to myself a little bit because I don't usually play Reddish and or Herter, but I do like them a little bit with the way this team is playing. And everybody after those guys doesn't really get any runs. So it's actually, we finally have like a little bit of a tighter rotation because the 30 minutes to Bogdanovich was throwing things off a little bit. Or 28 minutes. It is kind of cool though that like basically I don't think anybody, maybe Herter will be 10% on DraftKings, but I don't think anybody in Atlanta is going to be 10% owned. So you can play these chalky guys from Philly, and yeah, I think you're good. You're good to go with that.
Like any PJ Washington tonight?
What's his price now on DraftKings?
I don't know. FanDuel, he's 6,300.
He's a little more than I want to spend on FanDuel, but he does have a ceiling. I mean, I believe in the guy in general, but things are very fluid with that Charlotte team because they need to try and make room. They have sort of a tight 5, and he benefits when they play him at the center spot because, I mean, well, obviously it's a good thing for him, but that's what you want from him. And in this matchup, I'm not sure how much of that they'll do. I wonder where Mitch Rob is. It is interesting that I've listened to a lot of things that I haven't heard anybody say his name except for us. Oh, he's going to be like 20% owned too on DraftKings. It's weird. Why is no one talking about him?
I'll throw one Peyton in just for.
How can this ownerships can't be like? So we're basically some sites are basically accounting for. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, who are you talking about? Which draft?
I'm not going to talk about sites.
No. But which player?
Mitch Robinson. The point is that they're basically assuming that everyone's playing centers in the utility spot, which I think would be.
Because I have access to all the others. I'm going to see if anybody's off. Yeah, so I have.
What do you have Mitch Robinson at?
Well, I have one site that has him at 17%. The other three have him at like 9.
Okay.
So it's about 10%. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting that I've got him at 20 here.
Well, yeah, the one site I was referring to is probably the biggest one. I still have their old 17%. But the other three that you don't have, they all have them at 9%.
Okay. That's good to know. If I play power forward and play 50.
Let me see one. As long as I'm doing this for you, let me see if there's another big discrepancy. Another one where you're getting more ownership on the one side you're referring to is for some reason they're giving Miles Turner more.
Yeah, Miles Turner's getting some love on DraftKings, but
I'm sorry, the other three places I look are all like sub 10%.
For Turner?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, I appreciate that. That's helpful.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm looking at here. Like, and then.
All right, rapid fire. I'm going to do some questions, guys. So get some questions in. I'm giving you in about 30 seconds. I'll start doing them. So get them in as fast as you can, and we will answer them right away. If we can do that. It's weird because I didn't play any of the middling tournaments, so it makes the decisions on just the big ones. Because it's a weird day. You know, I'm ready for anything right now, but makes it a little bit harder. Okay, Melton.
Max is going to be like 75%.
Yeah, I think in the higher buy-ins he might even be like 85%.
Yeah, I wonder where Embiid's going to come in.
You know, it's interesting with him. It's apps. You don't need to play Embiid here, but the truth is, like, we would have been interested in Embiid if everyone was healthy this spot. You know what I mean?
Well, which means that he doesn't get as much of a bump, right? Like,
yeah. But I mean, without Simmons, the usage.
Yeah,
Atlanta is better defensively against the bigs now with Capella and Collins there, but still,
he's going to be 40% probably.
Yeah,
dude, if freaking DeAndre Ayton like bust the slate at 5-6% ownership, who's guarding him? Freaking Moritz Wagner.
By the way, that's the one other guy, and just the center thing, it just sucks. But I do like Mo Wagner a little bit. But yeah, I hear you. I actually think Wagner is not he's firmly in play for me. Just I don't have a way to.
He's like the 11th best guy, but he's awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but he might he might end up being the guy who 10x's tonight. You know, he really might be.
He's so handsy too. Yeah, maybe.
That's okay though. I don't mind a foul trouble guy if I'm going to play cheap for him. I only don't want to.
Okay. We'll play Kem Birch. No. Yeah, I still believe that. I think that Washington's game is gonna. I think it's just what the doctor ordered for Booker.
Yeah. I've got Booker and.
I don't have nearly enough on DraftKings. I got to do something about that.
I have the Booker Beal thing. I honestly feel like also with Beal that it doesn't feel as locky. You know what I mean? I don't know what the right word is. As maybe it's being treated. I'm just curious what owner. It is weird though because that game could also. I mean, like Phoenix has been good. Bradley Beal's not going to be owned. Never mind.
People, I'm going to get I have enough Booker on FanDuel.
Booker 7% projection on DraftKings.
Because like I said though, those guard positions are tough.
They are. You're totally right. All right. If there's a pivot. God, I hate that I did this.
Oh my God, I have so much Beal on DraftKings.
So Beal. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Got Beal and Giannis together.
I played Melton.
What would happen? Is I got rid of one of these.
I'm really into this speculating on this Melton thing. I think I'm going to try and do that. It is speculative, but it's. I think it's interesting.
On
DraftKings.
Is Fournier playing?
Yeah, we don't
Oh,
know.
he's out.
No, he's out. I'm sorry.
Fournier is out.
Are we just gonna can't we just call him out in general now? Why do we have to keep what you know what I mean? It's been forever and we have to question it.
It says that. It says out.
No, I know it's been weeks that we've had to like wait for that news. And why can't we just what's going on with him? Like I would like to just know.
All right. Any other questions before?
All right, I'll take a quick look because I didn't.
Let's see. Fournier out. Thank you. She's so fat. I've rolled over twice. Some stuff. Very good. Okay. Very good. You know what? I just saw that. Like
What?
he's referring. That was from the Nutty Professor. I saw that just really relatively recently. Ethan.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So there's no more other questions, huh?
Nope.
Guys, it's Sheets' birthday, so we need him to win big tonight, and we need all of us to win big as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we were helpful here. Wagner at 1%. Is he 1%? You have 1% of him. That's funny. That's funny, John. I thought you were saying he's at 1%.
All right. Happy birthday to me. Good luck to everybody else. I hope you all get second. And let's go get him.
All right. Good luck, man. Happy